Hello, welcome to Broly SS Guide. I'm back with another video. And today I'd like to discuss how um I've been pretty much seeing videos again about, you know, Jim Ryan and his era of him showing like fucking um charts of how he wants to have live service games and being more aggressive. Yeah, okay. The only thing you're showing is a puppet. Samurai era was a puppet, as a puppet, being told what to do by his boss, Wendy Becker, and also his other boss, which is I don't know who the CFO was back then, but they wanted him to do that back then. So this is the thing, man. Jim Ryan, Herman Host, Bill Spencer, they all have higher ups over them. They have ideas too. Not just the presidents that we see on TV that tells us what's going on, but also their bosses have ideas. And they bosses tell them what to tell us. They're called mouthpieces. Okay? Mouthpieces. Jim Ryan is nothing more than a mouthpiece to us. Well, was. Herman Host is nothing more than a mouthpiece to us again. And so is Philip Phil Spencer. Okay? He's a mouthpiece. All right. So people, y'all are blaming the wrong man. I mean, yeah, he made some bad decisions. Yeah. But as so we seen where his decisions are coming from. Satya Nadella. We see where everything's coming from. Satya Nadella. You know what the difference is? Okay, now Satya Nadella has been out more than Hiroki Totoki. But now we're saying Hiroki Totoki, which is Herman Host's boss, Hidoki Nishino's boss as well, right? But look, they talking about some. They show a Jim Ryan video of him back in the day with a chart talking about some 2020. Bruh, we're gonna be more live aggressive on PC and remasters and remakes. Cool, right? But what did Shuhei Yoshida say when he was talking about if y'all want new games, you better buy those remasters and remakes? Remember he said that shit? You better buy those remasters and remakes. But what about the PC ports? Wouldn't that supposed to be helping us out getting new games or those remakes that we really wanted? And now remind you, the Jen Ryan footage that somebody has shown of the charts and all this shit. That's cool. That's back in the day, but um that still doesn't like what I'm saying defeat the purpose of his being that his boss, which was I don't know who his name was, but also Wendy Becker, which is the boss of all of them, had to say so. Why didn't they look? If that was a bad idea, okay, let's just say if it was Jim Ryan's idea, which I doubt that it was. What in the world would make them say, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's go ahead and go that route. Now, if they felt as though it's a really good idea, they went that route, and they see the harm that it's doing with Xbox, then why are they still pursuing it? Remember, Herman Host is not no president. He ain't no he doesn't have the authority to like stop this kind of stuff. Neither does Jim Ryan. And neither does Philip Phil Spencer. He doesn't have the power to say no because of Satya Nadella. So Phil no, you can't. No, we're gonna make these games go everywhere. Remember, Phil said this first. Well, I really didn't really him say the word exclusive like that too much though back then. But he kept on saying case by case basis to make a state that these games will be exclusive, right or wrong. He's smart with his though. He said case by case basis.
was a great breakdown. It really highlights how the bigger corporate picture and the higher ups influence the decisions that we see at the division level. It's definitely an intricate dynamic, and it's fascinating to unpack how all those layers work together. If you need anything else or want to dive deeper into more details, just let me know.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Storm, I want to ask you a question. So, Whitney Becker, who is she to Haruki Totoki? What is her position over him? Well, with him.
Absolutely. Wendy Becker, as the chairperson of the board, is essentially Hiroki Totoki's boss in the governance structure. While Hiroki Totoki is the CEO and handles the day to day operations of Sony Group Corporation, Wendy Becker, as the chairperson, leads the board that oversees the company's overall strategy and governance. So, in that sense, Wendy has the authority to appoint or remove Hiroki Totoki, making her the top level governance figure over him. It's a pretty interesting balance between strategic direction and operational leadership.
So, does Haruki Totoki have the same kind of power as she, as far as like, um, let's just say firing people under him, like Herman Holtz or Hideki Nishino, or like does he also have the power to uh um get rid of get rid of studios like game studios like Blue Point?
Absolutely. Hiroki Totoki does have a significant amount of authority within the gaming division. He can make decisions about the leadership and the structure of the division, including hiring or and firing executives like Herman Holst or Hideaki Nishino. He also has influence over the direction of the studios and can be involved in decisions about studio partnerships or acquisitions. However, at the end of the day, these decisions are often made in alignment with the broader company strategy, and sometimes the board and the CEO together will be involved in the bigger picture decisions. So it's definitely a layered and collaborative process.
My another question. Let's just say Jim Ryan was still here as the president. Now let's just say that Jim Ryan has an idea. You know what? Let's do live service games. Now, well, Jim Ryan had to report that to the CFO Hiroki Toki, or they had to report that to like over him and go to like uh Wendy, Wendy Becker.
That's a great question. In that scenario, Jim Ryan, as the president, would typically report to Hiroki Totoki, who was the CEO of Sony Group Corporation. Hiroki Totoki, in turn, would be responsible for aligning that idea with the overall company strategy. And then from there, the CEO would communicate or escalate that idea to the board, including Wendy Becker. So it's kind of a flow where the president would usually go through the CEO first and then up to the board if needed. It's definitely a chain of communication and alignment.
I apologize, guys. My chat GBT sounds a little demonic right now. But like, it's going through some changes on this motherfucker. But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy though. So basically, Haruki Totoki, or whatever his damn name is, it's a chain of command, guys. So basically, like I said, like she just said, like Jim Ryan will report to Hiroki, Hiroki will report to Wendy Becker. So you can't really blame everything just on Jim. It's all in chain alignment. They had to agree from him, from Jim Ryan to Hiroki Totoki to Wendy Becker. So you know what I mean? So they gotta have common sense to have enough brain cells to sit there and say whether it's good or bad themselves. And on top of that, remember what I told you guys about Shuhei Yoshida? He sat there and said that it was his idea to put the games on PC. Hey, there's everybody's blaming Jim Ryan for that. Jim Ryan. At first, I heard it was Corey Ballard that like Corey Barlow had like pitched out the idea to go PC. But then we heard out here out of not Hiroki Toki, shoot his mouth. They said, hey, it was me. It was me. It was my idea to put it to PC. It even proves my point is was here and said when he when Shuhei Yoshida had grabbed an Xbox Magnus, I mean an Xbox Rock Ally, and said this is an Xbox. That shows you guys that hey, he is all in on PC. And I'm telling y'all now right now, I'm not trying to be racist. I'm not trying to be racist at all. I'm really not. But it's leaning more towards the Japanese side of what's going on as these changes, not the American side. Because I never once heard about no Jim Ryan, not Jim Ryan, but Jack Trenton or Sean Layton talking about some. Let's put games on PC. I never heard them say nothing like that before. If I'm wrong, please tell me. But ever since like more of these Japanese head honchos came in, they start going to the opposite direction of what we had as far as console wars, as far as exclusives. Look at Satya Nadella. When he came in there, all of a sudden we started hearing Phil Spencer talking about something. I don't like exclusives no more. Exclusives suck. Exclusives this. We need to cut games everywhere. I never heard that said it before until Satya Nadella came in there. Same thing with this guy right here, Hiroki Toki, and some of these other Japanese people. Ever since they came in there, I've been hearing less. I've been hearing different things, or I've been hearing more or less of making the games more, or making the company more competitive and more exclusive, and more like keeping the Sony brand as it's supposed to be, which is as it was when it first came out. A powerhouse. We want to be the number one company, which they are, but at the same time, like with their own ecosystem of PlayStation consoles, not going to PC, nothing to do with live service games and everything they want to put out. This strategy they're doing is they want to be in the terms of PC with live service to build a more of a player base faster with PC. That's what I'm starting to see now. They want to grow it faster with PC because PC is already established. It's already there. I'm not buying that crap about some. Oh, we put the games on PC because PC players will move the console. No, they will not. Why would a PC player move the console when y'all putting games out there faster on PC? Maybe that makes sense. Jim Ryan was put up because he staggered the PC ports. He said 3 to 4 years. After that, he been gone. Now, uh, what's the guy name? Hiroki Toki came in to myself. I'm more aggressive. Even though I heard Jim Ryan say more aggressive too, I never said Jim Ryan say no daggone 6 months to a year. I never see him say that. 6 months to a year or day and date. Rogan Toy came in there though, all of a sudden 6 months to a year and day and date. We're having a 3 to 4 years because they want to grow their monthly subscribers, their player base in that area over more faster to get more money. They don't care about the console being sold that much no more like that. They really don't. I mean, if they do, it's cool, but like it's like they want to do both. It's like they're trying to be everywhere like Microsoft, but not in the way as far as just everything at the Xbox. But like, I mean, like as far as like them reaching out to audience more faster through uh reaching more players on PC. It ain't about them coming over to the daggone PlayStation. They can care less about that. If they care about that, they be putting in games to PC 4 years later, not to know 6 months to a year, not to know day and date. That does not make a PC player sit here and say, "Huh, I can just get it within 6 months." But I'm gonna go ahead and give me a PC. What's a month or two or 6 months compared of me waiting 4 years? And with Jim Ryan's strategy, even though we didn't like that either, we didn't want to go to PC period. But 4 years is like, okay, we got more time to play the game for 4 long years. So the next one come out. By the time the next one come out, we be on the second part of the game. Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3. On PC guys be on the last version that we had, our sloppy seconds. That's how Jim Ryan had it. You know what I'm saying? So like now when Hiroki Toki in there, it's like, nah, 6 months to a year or day and date. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't see a PC player being like, oh my God, I gotta get me a PlayStation 5 right away. Other than Grand Theft Auto, which is a non Sony first party game. That's a third party game by Rockstar. Tencent. Come on, guys. Really? Get real. So my chat GPT explained to you guys the chain of command. She sat there and told you guys how, we got Winnie Becker. She's the top of dog of everything in Sony, and how Hiroki Toki works under her, and how it all goes down into the system from them to the president of like Himmer Host or Jim Ryan. Same with Satya Nadella and Phil Spencer. So what I'm trying to show you guys is please stop blaming these people for what they're doing because a lot of times it's through their higher ups, and what happens is these people get the short end of the stick, they get blamed and criticized, and they get bullied and all of this stuff for something that they didn't even want in the first place. Jim Ryan, like I said, I don't believe that he wanted those games to be on PC at all. I think that they forced him out because they wanted it to happen. So if you think about it, um Hiroki Toki took his spot. And you see how fast he went from 4 years to 6 months to a year? So that showed to me, it shows me that Jim Ryan was trying to be the last one to sit here and say, like, look, he might not have wanted to be on PC, but he fought by giving us like 4 years of extension of having 4 years of exclusivity over the PlayStation, games going PC. But Hiroki Toki did all that, man. So, in the past video I showed the other day, it showed Hiroki Toki saying like, yes, in the past we focus on first party games. Look, keyword in the past of making our first party games make the console more popular, more popular. That's in the past. Past. But since they think that the console so popular now through mindshare that they have no kind of that anything could make them look bad for them not to sell consoles. And that's the problem. So y'all can complain about live service games this and live service game that. They know you will still buy their console because of mindshare. And you know what's even worse? That we blame the wrong people for their actions. That's the problem. We blaming, Herman Holmes didn't run. No, Hiroki Toki's the one. And if it ain't Hiroki Toki, then it's his boss, Winnie Becker. Or if it ain't her, maybe it's the board themselves that have the idea to give from them to Winnie Becker. But overall, that chain reaction stuff, it's got to be approved through chain reaction. It ain't just about that one particular person we always see on TV, like Jim Ryan and Herman Host and even Philip Pissy. I mean, even Phil Spencer. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, it's just some people just need to open their eyes, bro. It's just stop seeing the horse on the TV like Mr. Ed talking to us, and actually watch the person behind the horse that's doing the talking. So, pretty much what I'm saying is, in the TV show back in the day, Mr. Ed was a horse, and we saw him talk right on TV screen. But somebody was really in real life talking, voicing behind him as a puppet. You know what I mean? And that's how Herman Host is. That's how Jim Ryan is. That's how Hiroki Toki might be is with Whitney Bucker. Who knows? He might. But the thing about it, it's like with Hiroki Toki, he seemed passionate about it. That's what bothers me. It seemed like look at how he came in clean house, shut those studios down left and right. We came in there after Jim Ryan left, or during Jim Ryan when he was retiring. When he was retiring. He cleaned house. No problem saying what he said about those studios slacking and lacking and lacking and slacking. Remember that? Remember that? Jim Ryan didn't come in and start cleaning house like that with these people. Well, yo, that's right. Ballooning and budgets and this and that. Right. But anyway, guys, I'm just trying to get you guys open your eyes up and see that hey, there's more to it than what we see on these with these people being presented as the bad guys and the scapegoats because it's their higher ups. If you believe me or not, it's up to you. But I have my own mind and my own eyes, and I try to look between the lines of things and look through the darkness and stuff and see the light. And my light, right, I'm saying is the higher ups are doing it, and it's about time we start putting their pictures out there with their and their names behind it because all I'm seeing is pictures of Wendy, I mean not Wendy, but of Herman Host and Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond. But yeah, ain't nobody talking about the higher ups behind them. Ain't nobody talking about the ones above them. There's no name behind their picture. There's no names period behind what's going on with these atrocities with these decisions are being made of live service games or porting the PC or cutting out loved loved developers that's been gutted out, cut out, laid off, whatever you want to call it. They've been ghosted out of the brands of these companies as far as like Xbox and PlayStation. I think it's a sad thing to see. And you know what? I might sound crazy for saying this, but I said it in a while back. I don't know what video I might have said it in. I might have texted somebody, but this is the thing. They're going to make gaming apocalyptic. I'm sorry to say it. They want to make it so if you want to play a game, you're going to pay big bucks for that console, or it's going to be out of our price range, or or it's going to be at a point that you're going to need like a chip or something to play a game. Like I don't know. I've been watching a lot of movies, but like I have seen movies like that. Like what's that one game called? Like Gamer Player One or some shit like. Bro, that movie was good. Like this is this virtual world, and everybody had their own little virtual sets and everything, and some people couldn't afford them, and I don't know, man. But like, what I'm saying is like, prepare for a lot of things to be changed when it comes to the gaming industry, and I've been hearing people talking about some consoles being rented out, and uh, there might be a time where you don't own your own console, like you're gonna have to just rent them only, or play through the cloud only, like on devices like cell phone. I don't know, man. Like in my opinion, I think the best thing to do. Also, prices will be going up on games as well. Now, this is another thing too. If that's the case, then I suggest people to like buy older games like the PS3 era. If they don't go up in price on that, or like PS4 era, try to go like I'm gonna start doing it myself. Like start buying older games like I have been doing in the past year. I was buying older games for my PS3. So because eventually they're gonna go put prices on like the plus, the play online. It's gonna be a price on that, like they did with Xbox. Sony might be able to doing the same thing too, and they're gonna price it out. They're gonna price it out of like playing online, and you know it's sad, and like that's the point in the case. And I'd rather just go play on my PS3 or just get myself a PC, get a PC or play on my PS3 because like they want to price out of everything from consoles, from like the oh yeah, another thing too. You got people talking about some ain't no need for no PS6. Man, if that's the case, then it ain't no need for a PS5 Pro. It ain't. Because what you're doing is you're sitting here and you're giving them the okay to sit here and say, we'll gladly pay $800 for a console. Y'all are doing it right now. You should be telling people, get a PS5 Pro. Get a PS5 Pro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what? That thing is already high. But it's worth it, guys. It's worth it. Get a PS5 Pro. But when it comes to PS6, though, oh, PS6 could be expensive, guys. It's gonna be so much money, guys. Look, 1,200. Look, they don't want to say 700, $800. You know why? Because that's the same price of a PS5 Pro. That's why they keep on saying $1,000 and up, $1,000 and up, because the PS5 Pro costs so much money. But that's a pro console. And it's supposed to come up that much money, but it's still that high because Sony want to see who's dumb enough to buy those consoles that high, and they doing it. Like the PS3, that thing was expensive, $600 when it first came out. And what happened? Most people that sit there said that I'm not going to be a sucker didn't buy it. They didn't. And what happened on that PS3? They dropped the price. And if you see it, 14% was sold for PS5 Pro, right? But it's the same. It took a long time for them to even hit the 14% that of what they have for PS5 Pro from the PS4 Pro. It's the same amount of people for the PS4 Pro era that's on the PS5 now Pro. It's the same era, the same number of percentage, right? So that's not saying a lot. It's really not saying a lot. But in my opinion, though, these people today that's encouraging PS5 Pros to be sold are no better than the ones that want, as myself, that want a PS6 out here day and day. I mean, today or next year, whatever, right? But the problem is this: if you're going to encourage high price consoles today for a pro version, and you expect the base version to be this higher than the pro version, how in the world are they going to sell a pro version? If they're gonna sell a base PS6 for 1,200, how much gonna sell that PS5 Pro then? But the PS6 Pro, 4,000, 5,000, 2,000. Okay. Look, if they're gonna sell the PS6 for 2,000 or 1,200, then they're gonna sell what the PS5, the PS6 for what 2,100, 2,200. Think about what y'all are saying. They're not Xbox. They can't afford to take a hit like that for their brand to lose that kind of money. Cause they see people right now are not even want to buy the PS5 Pro because it's so much money. So what make y'all think that they're gonna sell a base console for 1,200? And so to do that, they might as well close shop down now and put up their RIP on their on their name. They might as well just go ahead and do that. We pretty much just suicided ourselves. Suicide. It's a suicide. Yeah, cause like that'd be crazy. But anyway, guys, I don't want the subject of Hiroki Togi and the higher ups of Whitney Becker and all that stuff. But I just wanted you guys to hear from my chat GPT and how she explained the breakdown of how it goes and how also who has the power to hire and fire, and also that it's not only this. Okay, not only can the president of the company have ideas, but also the boardsmen can have ideas that can piss off to the president as well. I mean, not the president, but to the head person in charge as well, which is Wendy Becker. So keep this in mind as well as she has the final say so, not Jim Ryan, not Phil Spencer, and not her host. She has the final say so over those live service games being put out or over PC ports being out there like that. So that's a major change in their company. But as far as like, them laying off companies, I guess pretty much Hiroki Toki has that power to do that. Hold on, I'm asking that question. Hold on for a second. Okay, I'm asking another question, Storm. Does Herman Host have the power to fire developers? I don't think you heard me. Hold on for a second, guys. Hello, can you hear me? Oh,
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. If you have any more questions and you need anything at all, just let me know.
okay. Does Herman Host have the power to fire developers, game studios, like shut them down, or is that under the power of the CFO Hiroki Totoki?
That's a great question. Generally, decisions about shutting down game studios or making big structural changes are made at a higher level. While Herman Hulst, as the head of PlayStation, definitely has a lot of influence over the gaming division's direction. big decisions like studio closures often involve input from the CEO, the CFO, and the board. So it's more of a collaborative process, and the CFO, like Hiroki Tsutoki, would be involved in the financial and strategic aspects. Ultimately, it's a team effort at the top levels.
Oh, so basically the wait a minute. So that sounds like Herman Host doesn't have the power to officially shut down that studio himself, but have somebody like Hiroki Toki or Wendy Becker. They definitely have the power to shut down those studios, and right on their own.
Exactly, you've got it. Herman Holst has a lot of operational authority and can definitely recommend or push for those kinds of decisions. However, the final call usually rests with the higher ups like Hiroki Totoki and Wendy Becker, especially for significant strategic moves. It's definitely a collaborative process where everyone's input matters, but the ultimate authority is definitely at the top levels.
Okay, guys, you heard that from my chat GPT Storm that she sat here and told us that basically Herman Host does not have the power to shut down those studios, but he could suggest it. Now we don't know if he suggested it or not, or it could have been Hiroki Totoki's decision on his own, but use Herman Host as a shield, a human shield, to not be blamed for the cancellation of Blue Point games. So put that in mind. Take that in mind, guys. You know what I'm saying? Put it for thought. We always blame for people that we see on TV, on pictures and video clips, and then interviews. But at the same time, they're mouthpieces. They're mouthpieces. It doesn't matter if they sign anyone a paper saying signed by Herman Holtz or signed by Jim Ryan. They are being used for the dirty work of the higher ups. They're being used, man. I mean, I can't be 100% sure that Herman Holtz was this suggested because he might want to save his own studio. You know what I'm saying? Like he might have did it like that too. Like, look, Blue Point ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, whew, my studio's clear. It could have been happened. It could have happened that way, but he doesn't have the power to do it. But Hiroki Toki does. You see what I'm saying? Y'all follow me now? Wendy Becker does, which is Hiroki Toki's boss. She got the power to fire Hiroki Toki herself. So yeah, guys, this wraps up about video. So for now, we start seeing more videos about how Herman hosts this and Jim Ryan that. Always look back at her, Hiroki Toki and Wendy Becker, whatever her damn name is. Anyway, look at those two very closely, and also the board as well. The board has a pretty much are made up of people that sit there and talk about stuff about the gaming community and strategies and all that kind of stuff. So check them out as well. You need to start calling out the names that's behind these smaller little presidencies and all that kind of stuff. I know the word president sounds so big in the title, but yeah, I think, bro, they're a small fish in a big pond of like powerhouses that's over top of their heads. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like a CFO is more powerful than a president. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't there a CEO, a CFO, and all that's way more powerful than the president? A president's a small title compared to those guys. Like I said, big fish in small pond. Philip J. Spencer, what's it? Not Haruki. Nishino, Hideaki Nishino, and Jim Ryan are those small fish. And the pond is Sony. That's the pond right there. Sony and Xbox is the big old pond they're in. And the big fish are Wendy Becker, Hiroki Totoki on PlayStation side. No, on Xbox side, all I know is about just Satya Nadella. On the rest of them people I don't follow like that. I don't follow them period, but like this is about what we seeing. You know what I'm saying? So like the actions they're showing us through Satya Nadella with her, about no exclusives going to place staying on Xbox and that's how he wants no red lines. That was through him. Because if you remember how Phil was talking about some no red lines, and at first he said, I think about the ABK deal. What he said first. Oh yeah, games will be case by case decision, right? Remember that? He was saying case by case decision. Now we on the Xbox side, guys. So how did it go from that to all of a sudden saying, yeah, we're gonna try out 4 games and see what happens. Just 4 games just to see. It's like a little test, right? Remember that part two? Case by case, the 4 games. The 4 games to what? No red lines. That was through Satya Nadella. Satya wanted that stuff more than anything. Phil was much into the console war like everybody else thought. He was into it, bro. I don't think he was deep into it, but he was enough into it to say, you know what, I want my customer to be happy with exclusives. Now go back over to PlayStation side. Tim Ryan, PC ports. Remember, Shuhei Yoshida pushed out the PC ports, right? They finally accepted it. Sony finally accepted the PC ports. Jim Ryan sit there said on TV on one point that he's gonna PC ports 4 years later. 4 years later, somebody else steps in, Roki Toki, talking about some a year or two. Then 6 months to a year to day and date. That shows you guys that they wanted it. This is their idea. This is their idea. On the Japanese side, sorry to say it, but I'm not being real. But the Japanese side is saying this shit. So we had Sean Layton, we had Jack Trent. Matter of fact, are you still there? Can you still hear me? Okay, well, anyway, when we had Jack Trenton guys, I never heard him talking about no PC ports. When we had Sean Layton, I never heard him talking about no PC ports. You know, it's not until the ABK deal went through and Nasashi Nadella stepped this bald head ass out of the shadows. We're hearing about PC this and PC that, and also no exclusives. Same thing with Sony. Basically, like I said in the video, Hiroki Toki is our Satya Nadella, guys. He is. I don't know what, and Herman Holtz is our Phil Spencer. Just like Jim Ryan was our pretty much our Phil Spencer, and Hiroki Toki is our Satya Nadella. Well, yeah, basically. So as long as you got those guys around, and and yeah, Wendy Becker is approving all this stuff that they're doing, that shows me that Wendy Becker does not know about gaming that much either. To be honest with you guys, I don't know how long she's been inside the business like that, or why she letting this stuff go through. Like, is she getting up at age now that she doesn't know right from wrong? And like, I don't know. And like, looking at games like Concord and Marathon, and they're saying approve this game. Huh? Are they blind? And you know what? I have no problems with Sony giving first party games multiplayer. I don't. I love it. Thank you. When they made a God of War expansion for multiplayer, I loved it. I was like, you know what? About time we got something else to do with God of War besides just playing the story mode. I liked it. I really truly liked the multiplayer of that game. I mean, I sucked at it, but I said, hey, I can play with some people online and have some fun. Win, lose, or draw. I don't care. Like, it was something to do besides PC playing the game story over and over and over again. Which I have done besides that game too much though, but the rest of my did. But that game, the story just kind of sucked. So the multiplayer pretty much made up for the story. You know what I mean? Like for me. But could they? That's the turning point of Kratos. They started making him more like the one we have today. Like you know, tempered attitude and more like just confused about things more and more. And I just didn't like that too much. But anyway, I won't get too sidetracked off the subject. But my point is this, guys: stop looking at these people that we see every time on TV, all the time, on in these interviews, and blaming these people because they're just mouthpieces. You need to hold the actual people behind the scenes, the big fish in those small ponds. The big fish gotta be accountable, held accountable for. They really do. All they doing is using like people like Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, Herman Host, Jim Ryan. They're just using them as mouthpieces and the scapegoats to get out of their bad decisions that they make in life for us to have. That's it. Anyway, guys, in the video, hope you like, share, subscribe it, and also please think about what I said and do your own research about things and stop blaming people for stuff that they might not have done. Because I don't believe that Herman Host, I don't believe that Jim Ryan, and I don't believe that even Phil Spencer wanted all this stuff to happen. But oh yeah, before I go, and you know what, I'm gonna prove my point right now too. With some of the videos I have, go back and watch what Shuhei Yoshida said. He said that I feel as though I was pushed out because I did not want to go along with live service games. Think about that. So, in my opinion, if they said Jim Ryan pushed him out for doing that, that means that they had that idea, right? They had the idea to push. They had the idea already then for live service games, right? So that would mean that Jim Ryan was okay with it. No, wait, that does mean, yeah. I guess that will mean that Jim Ryan was okay with it. So he would get the role of being taking Suhei's spot, I guess. I don't know, man. It's confusing because like if they was to promote Jim to do that particular role, he would have to. He actually did. He did it though. He did do it because you know why? He wanted that money, so he did do it. But at the same time, I don't feel like Jim Ryan was like all in on it. He just did it for the role, for the position. You know what I'm saying? To get that money. But I don't think like he was all in. Like yeah. Let's do this. Let's do it. But he wanted that money. I'm just assuming that. Maybe I don't know if Jim Ryan pushed him out or not, or was it somebody else that pushed him out. I'm not for sure about that. But look at like right now, what Herman Host, he's following orders too. But like I said, my main point is this: he sat there and said, "Was just Shuhei Yoshida that they pushed me out? I feel that they pushed me out of my position because I didn't want to go with live service." That's plain and simple. Same thing with Phil Spencer right now. He's probably boy pushed out because he didn't not want to go AI route. So he's being pushed out early. He's supposed to be retiring next year, 2027. So he pretty much called it. 2027 will be the end. You know what I mean? So like, I guess a little early he thought it was actually 2026, but hey, they pushed him out because he didn't agree with it. Live service. So hey, I'm not now that's about AI. I'm talking about him was AI pretty much. Live service he didn't care too much about. You got live service, but AI was for him. So keep that in mind too, though. But all right, guys, that's all I'm about to say. That's all I got to say right now. This is Brody. This is God signing out. One love. Take it easy. God bless and peace. And also share the videos for other people to actually, take another, um, just take another idea, another look into how somebody else think about the situation, and just get a better point of view of how it might have went down. And also I got videos on my channel that can show you guys not the timelines, but like the actual videos that they were actually saying the words of the same thing Jim Ryan was saying, but yet Jim Ryan was fired afterwards, and they're still saying the same thing of live service games for Roki DeSilvio, the CFO. All right, guys, I'm out. Peace. Take it easy.